Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily and this is Lily's Leaves. Today we're going to be talking about Alocasias, which is a genus that I've had a really rocky relationship with and am finally on the up and up and want to show you my whole plant collection. But first I want to give you a story time about my relationship with Alocasias. If you don't want to listen to me ramble about it, you can skip to the timestamp where the first Alocasia in the ranks goes. But this time last year, I bought 4 Alocasias, 3 of which promptly died, and 1 of which I still have today. So I bought 3 Alocasias from a seller on Palm Street, all of which came in very good condition, honestly, except for one of them that I got for $1 because she was like, this one's looking rough. And I was like, I can save it. I know nothing about this genus, but like, I'm obsessed. I was specifically obsessed with the Jacqueline and anything that was like the Cuprea, but the Cuprea was kind of expensive back then, and now it's like a pretty accessible plant, I feel like. And I really wanted the Aslanii, so I bought an Aslanii. I got the discounted Black Velvet and a Jacqueline, which I was just like dying about. And then I brought them home and promptly killed all 3 of them. Just like death to all of them. The reason why was they came bare root and I left them for too long bare root, and then I decided, I'll just pot them up because like if it was a philodendron or something, you could leave them for a couple hours bare root after they got to you and they would be just fine. And they were not fine. They melted. I tried to harvest the corms because I heard about corms and I was like, I'll just regrow them, it'll be fine. And the corms promptly died as well, and I later realized that corms can't dry out, otherwise they will rot and there's like no help for them. But now, a year later, I still have this one plant, the silver dragon, that I will talk about later, and I have 9 Alocasias. One of them we'll talk about, but I have 9 Alocasias, and let's get into the rink now that you know my history with them. I loved them, I hated them, and now I'm on the up and up with Alocasias. So enemies to lovers, if you will. So I'm going to start with number 1 on my list, which is actually not one plant, it's lots of plants. And it's just on the bottom because it is a random corm cup. And I'm showing you this because one of these is a Jacqueline. I don't know which one it is, but I'm redeeming myself because I feel like the Jacqueline is still something I really want in my collection. Aslanii, not so much. I definitely want a Black Velvet again, and I feel like I could keep it alive this time. The Black Velvet also bloomed before I got it, and it like rotted from the center down where the bloom was, and so I don't know if that one was my fault. The other ones were definitely my fault. One of these is a Jacqueline. I'm pretty sure one of these is a Scalprum, maybe. One of them's a Poly, and I don't know what the other 2 are. Or there 3. There's 6 corms in here as far as I know, and it was just a random corm cup that I got from somebody on Facebook Marketplace for a couple dollars because they like mis-ID'd them. The only one that was confirmed was the Jacqueline, which I was like, I want a Jacqueline, obviously. And I don't know if it's like one of the small ones. This new one, that one is pushing out something, which is very exciting. So yeah, anyway, a random corm cup that hopefully by this time next year when I'm filming this video again, will be a bunch of really beautiful plants. So then the next one that I'm moving on is 3 plants in 1 cup, but they all have a rank. So the first one I'm going to talk about, so this is so funny, they're all like in this cup, you know, and the reason being I also got them off Facebook Marketplace. One of them was actually in the corm cup and then turned into a full plant, so I moved it out and put it in here. But anyway, the first one on my list, I guess the 8th Alocasia, I'm going from 9 to 1, is the Alocasia Cuprea, which I think is a really cool Alocasia when it's big. As a little baby, it's kind of weird looking and it has some damage, but a new leaf is coming out and I'm pretty excited about it, but it's still like small. So I'm just like, don't really know about its care, don't really know much about her, so she's just lower on the list, but hopefully one day she'll be like way up there, huge big leaves the size of my head. That is the dream. So the next one is the Alocasia Mellow, which if you can even see, it's right there, which is also an Alocasia I'm very excited about. And I kind of think this one has sport variegation, which would be insane. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see because it's such a baby leaf. But, oh, don't drop her. Let me see. Right there in the corner, it's failing to focus, one sec, is like this little white patch. Maybe that's just like light damage or something, because it's in a prop box, but it looks like a really sectoral spot. So that would be crazy, but maybe it will just be on this one leaf and it will die off. And yeah, but the last one out of this cup is the Alocasia scalprum, and this is one that I'm super excited about because I feel like it's super gothy, very Halloween vibes. Also, I feel like Alocasias in general give Halloween, even if they're not like Halloween colors. Just something about the genus just really gives me Halloween vibes. I don't know. I just feel like Alocasias are really Halloweeny. A lot of anthuriums can be really Halloweeny, but I don't really have that many. And then some philodendrons, like there's just certain genuses that just like the whole genus is like Halloween or like spooky season, and I feel like Alocasias are that. So anyway, this is that little prop cup, and hopefully these will all turn into really big, beautiful plants. They're all pushing new leaves at the moment, and they're growing really healthy. So I feel like cheers to them, and they'll go back in the prop box pretty soon. The next one on my list is looking kind of rough, but I bought it like this, so don't judge me. This isn't my fault. So this is the Alocasia pink dragon, and look at that stem. It's got that zebra-esque vibe. I was listening to Good Growing the other day, and she said zebra, and I cannot stop thinking about it now. Oh my gosh, this better not be pest damage. I was pretty sure that this spot was literally just browning because the leaf is dying off, but now that I'm looking at it closer, it has like little dots all over it. I've never had a bad spider mite outbreak. I've had spider mites on like some poinsettias at one point, and then they just like, I just got rid of them because I wasn't going to deal with that. And I know Alocasias are a magnet, and this one is definitely suffering, but yeah, I really hope that that's not like spider mites or flat mites or something. I hope it's just dying off. Yeah, we can only pray. So this one I got in a trade, and somebody was just like, I don't know, they traded me for something small. It wasn't looking good. I hope it doesn't have pests, because that would piss me off a little bit, that you would like give that to a trade and then it just like was pest damage instead of like a dying yellow leaf. But then again, it is kind of weird that it's just that one spot. I think I might just chop this leaf. 1 second. So I was gonna leave this on to help to support that little chunk down there. Like, I guess that's not called chunk. The corm, like, push out new leaves. But if that is pests, I just want the plant to have the best success. I'm going to clean off that bottom portion, and we'll hope for the best. But she has really good roots in here, and I'm excited because I feel like this is a cool plant. Mine just doesn't look right yet, But like, look at that. I hope you can see. Anyways, so this is the Alocasia pink dragon. All right, next on my list is my Alocasia no ID. I honestly thought that this was a pink dragon for a hot second, but that doesn't really make sense. So this is what it looks like. Oh, it's failing to focus. The leaves look like that. They're very dark. The backs are really interesting. They're like veiny almost. And then the stems are also that zebra-y vibe. I don't even know why it's like zebra, because it's not quite zebra. It's got like lines through it, but maybe that's why they call it that. But yeah, this one came to me also at a trade, and somebody was just like, I suck at Alocasias, take this corm. And then it just like sprouted up on me, and it looks super beautiful. I feel like it's so pretty. It hasn't pushed a new leaf recently, but I did repot it, and the roots are growing in well, so I feel like maybe we're just gonna have to give her some time to like recover from the repot, because I know the alocasias don't love that. She also could be working on, yeah, just establishing the roots. I was gonna say corn, but I don't think she's big enough yet. But anyway, yeah, so this cutie is so cool. I feel like it's gonna look awesome when it's fully grown, and I don't know what it is, but I really like it. So if anyone can tell me, that'd be awesome. Next up, I have, what's on my list? Oh, Alocasia Adora Batik. We're in the top 3 right now. So these are like my favorite alocasias that I have. I don't have many. I hope to have more, but you know, right now. This is my Alocasia Adora Batik, which is stunning. And honestly, like for some people, since this one is like more rare or whatever, they're gonna be like, why wasn't that first on your list? But there's like other reasons why I like the other ones, you know? But I grew this one out from TC's. It also has that kind of zebra-y pattern on the stem, if you can see that. And there's a little splendid cutting that randomly got stuck in here, and that's growing really well, which I think is funny, and I'm just leaving it. They're companions at this point. But this leaf is beautiful. The reason why it's lower on the list is because it used to be actually huge. These things size up so quickly, but I keep it in high humidity in my prop box because eventually I'm going to have a cabinet and I want to keep her in the cabinet. I know that they can grow in ambient, but I'm scared. I could probably just condition her. But she also likes a lot of light to get this type of variegation, and I have a lot of light in my house, but like those grow lights that are in the box really make this vibe, and that's what I want to keep because like, whoa, that's stunning. But it got so huge that all of the new leaves, which were like twice this size if not bigger, and the petioles were definitely way taller, they all touched the lights and got scorched. So I just chopped it. I literally just went whoop, and then here we are starting over. But that's what I love about alocasia is like you can start over so easily, I feel, versus like starting over a philodendron. You have to like either start over from wet sticks or cuttings, and then they get janky. And then same with like anthuriums, like starting over from chunks can be so hard, I feel. And then obviously other things have other problems, but alocasias are so easy because there is a corm. But yeah, this one is beautiful. I got it off Palm Street. It was my first ever TC and the only one I've ever done. But later in this video, there's a surprise at the end, so stay tuned for that, talking about TCs. And then, yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say about her, but she's stunning. If you don't have one of these already, I would recommend it if you like variegated alocasia. They aren't as rare or like as sought after as they once were because you can find them at like big box stores, but they're still expensive at big box stores. They're just not like unheard of, or they're not the variegated cuprea or the black velvet, or they're just kind of in the middle of variegated alocasia, I think, because like the next one I'm going to show you, the next one I'm going to show you is very easy to find, I feel, at least like where I am, and I feel like the prices dropped so much because they were everyone's wish list plant for variegated alocasia, and that is the Alocasia variegated Friday, which like look at her, oh my goodness. So I bought this Alocasia from a lady. I feel like I'm freaked out because like people talk about pests all the time, and so now I'm like looking. This one looks fine to me. These leaves look good. I'm just really worried about this one because I've heard that they can be terrible when it comes to pests, and I don't want that. But anyway, I got this one. There's 2 plants in here. Sorry, let me back up. Maybe that will help. So there's this little plant right here, which I got at the trade that I went to a couple days ago. And that video will be up soon, possibly after this video. Yeah, I haven't decided when that one's going up. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But the other plant in here is this middle bigger one, which has 3 leaves and the new one coming out in the middle. And this one came to me and it's just like this leaf and an old leaf that has died off. Oh, and this leaf, never mind. It's literally right here. It is 4 leaves plus a new one that's pushing. So these 2 leaves. And now I have this one, which is bigger. and this one. And they're just so stunning. The only thing about this plant is how sprawled out it is. So I have like these little dragonfly clips to try and clip it in place and hold it all from like falling everywhere. But I also think I might get one of like those octopus hooks or whatever from maybe like Houseplant Essentials or somebody who sells those. But this plant is just stunning. I also love the like half moony kind of vibe going on. Yeah, so stunning. You know what's interesting about alocasias to me? People who are not plant people seek out alocasias and think that they are so beautiful. And I mean, respect, they are beautiful, but it's just really interesting to me because when my boyfriend comes into our apartment and he's like looking around at my plants, or when I'm like, oh, what's your favorite right now? He always points out an alocasia. This one has been his favorite for the last couple weeks, especially he really likes the half moon leaves. Oh, this one. Half moon leaves. He says that that's really cool, which like agreed. That is so cool. But yeah. So I think that is something that's interesting about alocasia. And also I think I've heard other plant influencers talk about that, like that alocasias get a lot of attention from people. So, yep, that one is my second. And my first one isn't terribly exciting because it is a common one, but to me, it means a lot and I think it's beautiful. And honestly, I think it's going up in popularity, but let's talk about it. This is my favorite alocasia. So this is the oldest alocasia that I have ever owned, and it is the Alocasia Silver Dragon. And like, look at that. Oh, it's stunning. Like, how is that not a sought after plant? Like, you know what I mean? How is that just a basic house plant? That is so gorgeous to me. The silver and then the purple, like dark veins on the back. And look at those roots. If you can, the glare goes away, sorry. And she always has corms. I kind of suspect she's been working on corms recently because she only has 2 leaves. So the same thing with this one. This one used to be really big and bushy and a lot taller. And obviously this one is kind of a dwarf alocasia, so it doesn't get terribly tall, but it was pressing up against the sides of the prop box for a while. And this one I'm actually transferring out of high humidity because I'm officially not scared. I've just been really scared of killing it in normal ambient. But I'm going to, slowly but surely, she's going to be an out here plant. And what I was going to say is she would press her leaves up against the humidity on the side of the box and it would cause them to like get mushy. You know what I mean? Because it's like too much water and like high humidity and then they would just like mush. So I kind of just chopped her and these are her new leaves after that. And I put her in the center of the prop box so that doesn't keep happening, which I think was a good choice. But the main reason why this one is my favorite is, first of all, it's stunning, but also it is just really sentimental to me because I've had it the longest. It's the only one I've been able to successfully grow for over a year, and I feel like that's a really big accomplishment, and you kind of wouldn't be able to tell because she is really tiny, but she used to be bigger, and she has a special place in my heart. She's so beautiful, and I think she's the reason that I still have alocasias. The reason why I tried again, because I'm like, well, if I can grow her, I could probably grow something else, right? And then I got the Adora Boutique, and then after that, I've just like gotten all the rest that I have. But I feel that this is the reason that I have alocasias in my collection still, and I'm so grateful because they're a really cool type of plant genus. And yeah, if you don't have a silver dragon, go pick one up because they're not that expensive. I think you can find them at big box stores, but I did notice while I was at the plant swap that a lot of people were like, is that an actual silver dragon? Because I had a bunch of corms with like little babies, and I was like, yeah, why? And everyone had dragon scales. Everybody had dragon scales, and I was like, those used to be more sought after than silver dragons. People were like, oh, silver dragons, whatever. But now all of a sudden people are like, I have 1 million dragon scales and I want them gone. And now like, I want a silver dragon because they're really pretty, which like fair. But also I thought that they were really accessible. Maybe they're not anymore. Maybe like big box stores aren't producing them where I am. I haven't looked because I have one, you know? But anyway, so I might corm harvest her pretty soon. And that is my list of my 9 alocasias, and hopefully next year I will have more when I do this video again. Now let's skip to the next part of the video, which I think is really exciting. I'm going to deflask a mystery alocasia.
Okay, so the lighting is different because it's later in the day, but and I'm boiling noodles in the background, so hopefully you can't hear that. I have mic on, but hopefully you can still hear me. I got something so cool. Okay, so this is I don't know if you can, oh, tags on this side. I don't know if you can read that, but this is Alocasia Dragon Scale Variegated Mint. Which, like, what? Look at that. That is a half moon leaf. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we are going to deflask this. I'm going to show you how I deflask. This isn't like a tutorial because I'm not an expert. This is only my second TC ever, and I don't remember how I did the first one. So I'm going to have this. Hopefully this works, and I can look back at this anytime I want to do a TC. So I'm going to get a bowl of warm water and a thing to pot it up into. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so here we have a bowl of lightly warm water. You don't want it to be hot, but just slightly warm. And then, oh, I forgot scissors. These scissors, I think you should probably sterilize your scissors for best practice. I'm just gonna get mine in the water. I'm not gonna sterilize it, I'm gonna risk it. Maybe I'll regret that later, but you know what? I'm too lazy and too excited, you know? This is not a tutorial, this is just what I'm doing. You should probably sterilize your scissors. And the lady that I bought it from literally told me wait a day before deflasking it, but I can't because this video has to be up by Sunday. It is currently Friday and I'm leaving for 2 days. Holy crap, there it is. What? This is insane. Okay, so there's some random plant matter left in there. I think that's just, and then the goo. So the goo is agar, and that's what we're gonna try and wash off. If you don't know anything about TCs, I'd recommend learning about them because I think they're really cool and it's such an interesting process. I feel like TCs are, if we ever go to space, how we would get plants to space, you know what I mean? Not necessarily houseplants, more of like food. But look at that. Sorry, the lighting is literally terrible. Maybe I will have fixed that while I'm editing. But there she is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna put her in the warm water. This water is pretty warm actually. And I'm just going to, she has pretty good roots too, and nothing seems to be rotted, which is always a good sign. It looked like she'd been in here for a little while, just based on like the lack of goo. She'd eaten most of her nutrients already. Okay, there we go. And now I'm gonna move this aside. Oop, it was wet on the bottom. And I'm gonna use this little cup. I would like to be able to see the root growth, but I don't have anything small, and I think it will be fine, you know? I'm just going to pot it up with some chunky soil because I'm going to keep it in high humidity. Obviously, you don't want to acclimate this to air temperatures yet because it's living in 100% humidity, so it's going to go straight into my prop box in some chunky soil to keep aeration on those roots, keep them healthy and happy. And then yeah, that new leaf should pop out pretty soon. I'm going to give her a little bit of water, and then that's it, I think. That is just stunning. And I've never had a dragon scale before. I've heard they're like the same care pretty much as a silver dragon. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard. And I don't know, I think she should be pretty good. This new leaf looks like almost 100% white. Hopefully it's not, but maybe it just looks like that because it's a little TC and you can't really see coloration yet. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like alocasias and you liked this video, please consider giving a thumbs up and a thumbs up and comment. Thank you so much for being on my channel, for supporting me. This has been so much fun to be making these videos for you guys. And if you want to tune in next week, there's going to be a really fun, spooky, there's a hint, themed video for October. So anyways, bye guys, and thank you so much for watching.